So film, the concept and the establishment of the film industry was right here in North Jersey.
New Jersey, when silent films were being made, was actually the Hollywood of the United States, because Hollywood was just orange groves and farms. You know, there was no, big Hollywood studios back then. It was all done here on the East Coast.
In 1927, with the jazz singer, everything changed. In just 2 years, everything changed. The jazz singer's synchronized voice to film. It introduced song to film, and it was only a matter of 2 years and they all moved off to California, where they could take advantage of the light or the weather.
New Jersey has such a great history, and we were able to capture that on film here in silent. There's actually a village we shot at. It was literally 5 minutes from my house. I had no idea he was even there.
I remember one of the first days we were shooting, we shot at Boonton Falls. There's a lot of cliffs and waterfalls there, and our producer, Carl, chose that spot because actually during the silent film era, they filmed The Perils of Pauline in the very same spot, the very same falls. So there's like a connection between our silent film now of today and the silent films of yesterday being shot in the same location all those years apart.
With silent, I did do research, not just on how to direct actors and make it look like silent, authentic silent acting, but also how to shoot a silent film and how to create this world that is a silent film world.
That would have been tough to cast anybody in that period, and it was just as tough for us to find those people who could capture the roles.
What is your name?
For me, silent films of the day didn't really appeal to me, only because they were such larger-than-life sort of productions. They were overblown, they were very theatrical, and I didn't want to be that. I think I sort of irritated Michael, the director, a little bit, because I didn't want to make it big, even though that's what a silent film was. I wanted you to be able to relate as an audience of this time period to this character, but I still wanted to have that feeling of a silent film, and I really tried to make sure that my facial expressions were sort of in that vein, that was big. While my mannerisms, I didn't have flailing arms, there wasn't, wailing, crying, but my facial expressions were always able to tell the story and propel it along.
The boy and I love each other. Can't you see that?
It's actually harder. I've done some things where I have no dialogue, and it is tougher actually trying to emote and do things without really saying things. So it's actually tougher if you don't have dialogue that people can hear. It's a lot tougher because you got to work with your facial expressions, and you've got to literally project from inside to bring everything out.
The style of acting that that Michael wants is a lot different from everything else that I've ever done. Being able to have the freedom to not have to stick so much to the text is very freeing as an actor.
I got to do everything my acting coach told me not to do. I tend to act with my face. I'm very visual. My eyebrows tend to dance around my face, and so Barnaby was very animated, so I got to use that part of Sam, to actually portray this character. So I thought it was actually a breath of fresh air that I had to not worry so much about my facial expressions, because I can really be exaggerated, because you didn't rely on the dialogue to get across what the storyline was. If you were watching it and the sound was turned off and there was no dialogue, you still kind of follow the story just from what you see on screen. You can follow along at any time, pick up the movie, you can walk into the movie maybe 20 minutes into the movie and know who's the villain, who's the damsel in distress, who's the good guy, even without dialogue.
I just tried to follow my direction, you know, because I don't know better than the people who are making the film. And I was just pleased that they like what I did, and that, you know, what felt sort of hammy and obvious to me was, you know, inspired for them. Like, way to go, way to be dead.
Playing Phineas was kind of nice because I feel like I'm really bad with lines. And we still had to memorize lines and stuff. I was just very bad with it. And it was nice to be able to try to express things, which I always felt was really hard for me, because I felt like I'm always kind of very small when everything wants to be very big, and silent film needs to be very big. It needs to be huge, and all the facial expressions need to be huge, and the emotions need to be huge. You know, things of the period is like, things need to be huge. If you need to see someone run, you need to make sure you see those legs pumping. And so this is just, you know, a step up from that, and just kind of ridiculous. You know, no one's really going to run like that. It's just not efficient. Your
eyes, your face are the key elements of your acting ability. You can tell a lot without even speaking. Just how you move your face and your eyes, you can portray an emotion. So in the silent film era, they would put black around the eyes, so to highlight the eyes, to bring them out, so you zoom in on the eye expression.
And it's not your traditional makeup that you would see in today's films, because it's silent, and they talk a lot non-verbally. They talk with their eyes, with their emotions, so you really had to accentuate the eyes. Each character required their own style of makeup, especially the ghouls. And there were some shoots where there were about 75 ghouls that they were all needed at once. They didn't just get a little here and a little there. You had to paint their whole face, really exaggerate their eyes a lot more than anybody else.
When they all showed up, they looked like regular people. But when they got into wardrobe and they got into makeup, they became their characters. And that's what's so good about this cast. They actually became who they were supposed to be, and they maintained that throughout the entire shoot.
And I think that's why everybody committed to this film. That everyone worked on this film because it was different. It was out of the box. It was something unique. And that's the most satisfying thing, to look around on a set, that everyone's there because they believe in this project, that they believe in this film, because it is different. They don't want to make a film like everyone else is doing.
It is a silent film, but having never seen one before, I don't think you know what to expect by it. And knowing that we've challenged our actors and incorporated talking and song a la 1927, then this is not, I mean, I don't think you should expect, I think you should expect the unexpected.